to your right is a bulkhead. A bulkhead is what the miners call a wall that was used to direct airflow. This bulkhead is made of 1.5-inch thick tongue and groove planks, supported by 6-inch by 6-inch timbers, and sealed with black tar paper on the backside to keep air from that part of the mine from coming into this side. As you can see, it's slowly being crushed by the roof. On the platform are a couple of 2-thumbed gloves. In the 1940s, when this area was being mined, everyone conserved materials for the war effort. The miners wore the glove on their right hand and used the right thumb until they wore out the palm. And then they would wear it on their left hand until they wore out the back of the glove. Stories have been told that Mr. Carey, the owner of the Carey salt mine, was always after the miners to pick up their trash and not contaminate the salt. Apparently, a miner rolled up these gloves and stuffed them in a blasting hole, because that's where we found them 60 years later when we opened this part of the museum. Now, if you look closely at the salt wall to the right, it appears there's another glove stuffed in a blasting hole. As you look to your left, you'll see a rare sight, what the miners call a roof fall. The pieces on the floor used to be the roof. But over a number of years, the salt started sagging away from the compacted mud layer above it and eventually fell. Even though only a few rooms ever develop a roof sag, everywhere in the mine that people will walk, drive, or ride, we monitor the roof, and sags are removed when necessary. Can you imagine how it sounded when this roof fell? From 1923 to 1983, the miners used a rail system to transport salt from the mine face to the salt skip where it was hoisted topside. Then in 1983, they switched to a conveyor belt system. On the left is a car that was used to haul salt and railroad tracks that were abandoned when mining left this area in the 1950s. The miners used the same rails and ties over and over, since bringing more down the skip was both time-consuming and costly. Our train crew ripped up and hauled back abandoned rails and ties from the mine that had been used for our train track. Almost 5,000 feet of rail for the track you are riding on. At the next curve, we'll pass by other original cars used with the rail system, including a hand-wheel-operated rail-bending car.
Yeah, no. My batteries died.
Check. Hey, can everybody hear me? All right. Well, my recorder died, so let's go ahead and do it from me. So you get a little special thing today. Over to your left, this is our trash pile. You're going to notice quite a few interesting things over here. There's all sorts of neat things that they left behind, like Coke bottles and old light bulbs and stuff like that. Even a pair of shoes over here next to this big box. I'll turn it up a little bit more. One of the interesting things that were left behind is the calendar by that set of rocks over there to your left. And then also, whenever they found that gray trash can by the pillar, it was empty when they found it. Showing you that they weren't necessarily the most clean group of people down here. They often left trash all over the floor. It also shows you that one person's trash is another person's treasure. Now, in case you were wondering, trash wasn't the only thing that the miners left down here. You can see they weren't a clean bunch in this area either. Now, inside of that little toilet over there, there actually is a trash can that they would fill up and then have to carry out. Usually it was the new man on the crew who had to do that. Give me just 1 second here. As much as I hear this, I actually can't remember the script right at the moment. I'm sorry. See. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm having a hard time this morning. I guess I'm a little bit tired. But as you can see, there was quite a few interesting things that they did leave behind down here. Now, you can see is the mess that they left behind. It's another reason why we tell you to not lick the salt. Now up ahead, there are going to be a couple things on the left and right. On the left side up ahead, there's going to be a stack of dynamite boxes, as you can kind of see where my headlamp is. And there's going to be a light that pops up on that one. And also on the right-hand side, you're going to see some salt that is scaling or spalling, what it means is peeling away from the pillar. I want you guys to keep in mind as we go through this area, everything that you're seeing is actually the exact way that the miners have left it down here. It has not been changed or anything whenever we came through this area to put in the train track, and it's the exact way that the miners have left it. We also ask that you remain seated as we approach the train station here at the end, because this is our final stop. Please do not get off the train until we are at a complete stop and I tell you it is safe to do so. Other than that, let's keep on rolling. Thank you.